We are so excited to welcome an extra special friend of the Hive, thought leader, educator, and innovator, Tara Desiderio. Along with her positive energy, she brings over 25 years of experience in public education. Tara is the principal at an elementary school. And in the spirit of her incredible work, Tara's buzzwords are Thriving Hive. Tara, welcome to the Hive. Mike and I are so happy to have you here with us today. Since you're in the Hive, we're excited to share with listeners that you've decided to adopt the Beekeeper book as a school-wide read for your teachers in the 2023-2024 school year to fuel your school's thriving hive. Welcome to the Hive, Tara.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here. And we are so excited as a team to take on this journey of exploring the Beekeeper with our school family.
Thanks, Tara. Really awesome news. And I know you've adopted book themes in the past. So can you share with the listeners why this practice helps to create a synergy, common language, and really engage the team at the teacher and staff level?
Sure. I've been in my current role at this current building for the last 13 years, and we have adopted a book almost every year because it's something that our teachers feel like being literacy, involving our students and kind of promoting literacy at a high level. If we need to set that example as educators and really get our students and model that practice for our students. So we have adopted a book theme every year. This is the first time over the last 2 years that we have embraced a book for the last 2 years because our teachers really dove into it deeply. And we dissected the book the first year. And now this year, we're actually taking on a specific chapter of a book.
How does something like adopting a book impact students, parents, and teachers?
So when we look at adopting a book, it's not only that our teachers are adopting the book and the teachers are diving into what that book means to them, both. And again, we always take this from a personal and professional level. So things impact us in our workspace, but we can only be as good as we are at work if we are our best in ourselves and with our families. So it's always a collaborative effort. So in doing so, we really try to create a safe space for people to take risks. And by adopting a book and by honing in our focus and creating a common lens with all of our teachers, we're then able to do that with our students. So it's kind of a trickle-down effect. So then we really kind of unpack and let our students know, hey, we've been reading this story and this book, and this is what it's about. And we've kind of taken it to a student level. Things like being present or being curious. We really try to dive into those things with our students. So when we're talking about making sure that students feel like they are in a safe space to learn and that they can have that vulnerable space and, being vulnerable, I'm trying to touch on all these things that I read throughout your book that I was like, that I know our students can connect with. So even if it's at the most basic level of taking all of our B statements and really putting those out there for our students each month, to try to see how they can do those things. So being vulnerable and having a growth mindset and how they can actually reach their full potential and actually looking at many of these different things. This is something we want to unpack day to day with our students and use as a common language. So once our students have that common language, it's the way that we problem solve as well. So as we come across little hurdles, and we always view everything at our school as an opportunity. So we always say we do not have any problems in our space. We only have opportunities to learn and grow together. So as we're doing all of that, and as we choose our lens and walking into these things, we want to really encourage our kids to be vulnerable and be curious. And those are things that in reading your story, I really feel like our students can really capitalize on, and they'll be able to kind of take day by day, because we really feel like, again, the story really lends itself to helping us become a stronger knit school family and school community. So we will not only be doing this with our teachers and with our students, but also involving our parents in that way.
That's awesome. It sounds like you just asked us to write a children's book. That's what I got out of that.
I think I may have.
Really insightful. I love that connection. So true, right? What happens at home, and really school should be an extension of that. So thanks for those insights. I really think our listeners will be able to take away a lot on how to create an environment that is is kind of conducive for people to be vulnerable, to share, and to have a safe space to learn and grow. So Tara, thank you so much for joining us today in the Hive and talking about this. And I'm glad you're adopting it next year, and we can't wait to hear how it goes.
We are so excited.
Thanks, Tara.
All right, Katie, that was awesome. Another great Hive session. I know we like to, kind of debrief on these and kind of talk about some B statements and B mindsets that resonated. I mean, I think she mentioned so many from the book, but what was one that resonated with you?
I don't know if I could pick just one. Like, to your point, she said so many great things. And I'm just so excited in how she's thinking about, bringing the lessons of the beekeeper into her school. In terms of a bee mindset, something that resonated with me that she kind of threaded from the very first response all the way to the end is this notion of be together. And so, in the context of her school, she really builds culture when she thinks about everyone, the teachers, the staff, the students, and the parents. And so when we think about that, and I think this really lends to every aspect of our life, right? With our families, on teams, right? In the workspace, in community groups, right? At our churches, whatever you want to say, in these spaces where we come together, how do we allow ourselves to kind of look around and encourage that sense of collaboration and inclusion and the opportunity to learn from one another? And even in some cases, and Tara kind of gave an undertone to this, to unlearn, right? And then learn new ways. How about you? What B mindset resonated with you?
Yeah, well said. I think that definitely was one of them. You captured it so nice with the be together mindset. I mean, be curious kind of jumped out at me because I think she talked about it in the context of like lifelong learning and always being a learner and kind of creating learning organizations. And to do that, no matter who you are, you need to be curious, because that's what fuels learning and growth. And so that resonated with me. And I think, not just at schools, but anyone who, is curious usually gets a chance to grow and learn something new and become better. So I would say be curious is the one that resonated with me.
I love that, Mike. And something I think we try to practice, and there's an undertone, of course, in the book about just ongoing learning and growth. So how do we show up curious? So this was so great. Thank you to our listeners for being with us. And we look forward to seeing you in the Hive again real soon.